Hi, welcome to this maths video on division of surds. This video follows on from multiplication of surds, so if you haven't watched that video, I would definitely pause this or close this and have another look, try and find that video, as a lot of the stuff I'll be talking about is brought up there and begun there. If you want to pause the video now though, take down these notes, at least then you'll be able to kind of get all that out of the way and focus on what we're doing maths-wise. Alright, so assuming you've done that, let's take a look and get started here. Alright, so division of surds. Firstly, a surd is, if you don't know, simply just a non-recurring decimal. It's a nice way to write quite a difficult number. For example, if I look at there, root 5, if I actually put into my calculator, root 5, I end up with an awful decimal there. Okay, it's quite a long number. It's actually much easier for me to write root 5 simply as root 5. So that's why there's this whole branch of mathematics, or this whole branch of GCSE maths that deals with working in surd form. Alright, that simply means a number with numbers involved with the square root sign. Alright, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Just as when we had multiplying of surds, if I multiply two surds together, I can simply take the surd of their product. Right? In other words, if I multiply the two numbers together, a and b, I can just take the surd of that. And it works in both directions. Similarly, when I divide, if I have root a divided by root b, I can take the root of a divided by b. So it looks like a 4 there. A divided by b. So I can simply go a divided by b, get an answer, and then take the square root of that. So let's have a look and see this in practice. So if I have root 15 divided by root 5, that's actually the square root of 15 divided by 5, like that, and 15 divided by 5 we know is 3, so the answer to this is actually root 3. Really easy. And next bit, if I have root 48 divided by root 6, that is using my surd rule there, I can say that that is actually 48 divided by 6, and the square root of that, so that's going to be root 8. Now, at this point here, I couldn't do anything with this. 3 is prime number. I couldn't break it down into any of my my square numbers and other numbers like I can when I do or like I aim to do when I multiply the surds. So if I know my square numbers, I can see that embedded in 8 is actually 4 times 2. And I've chosen 4 specifically because it is a square number. I'm always seeking out my square numbers when I'm thinking surds. So now I can use my multiplying rule, and I can kind of go backwards. So this is kind of a times b, so I can split this up as root 4 times root 2. And we know what the square root of 4 is, that's 2, so we write this as 2 root 2. Alright. That is pretty much what you will end up doing in every surd question. Right? It's very doubtful that they will give you something that ends nice and neatly like that. You'll always be looking to take out the highest square factor and factorize it out. Right, let's do something a little bit more complicated now. If we pick something, let's take 18 root 32. Divided by 3 root 8. Okay, now in this case, I've actually got 2 portions of my sum. I have 18 divided by 3, and I have root 32 divided by 8. So I have to do both of these. I have to do 18 divided by 3. 18 divided by 3, and I have to do root 32 divided by 8. So I can do them at the same time. Root 32 divided by root 8, that's going to give me 32 over 8, and 18 divided by 3 I can now work with. So 18 divided by 3, that's going to give me 6, and I'm going to have 32 divided by 8, which is going to give me 4. Alright, and you'll notice straight away that 4 is a square number, so I can actually take the square root of this, so this is going to be 6 times square root of 4, which is 2, and so my answer is 12. Alright? If I have another example where it might not work out so neatly, let's take 24 root root 60 divided by, let's have root 5 here, and let's have, I don't know, 6 root 5, something like that. Okay, so now I do exactly the same thing. So I have 24 divided by 6, coming from there and there, and I have root 60 divided by root 5, so root of 60 over 5. Okay, 24 divided by 6, that's going to give me 4. 60 divided by 5, it's going to give me 12. And again, because I've got this surd, I'm thinking square numbers, can I look at this and find a square number? And yes, I can. I can see that 12 is actually 4 times 3. And so this is going to be 4 times root 4 times root 3. Well, root 4 is 2, so this is actually 4 times 2 times root 3. And I just make that into 8, and so my answer 8 root 3. By the way, when you see these, they'll often tell you, put this in the format a root b, where a and b are both integers. All they're saying here is that I want a number square root of a number where these two numbers are both integers, they're both whole numbers. That's all they're asking for there. Okay, that's probably about as difficult as it gets with divisional surds, about introducing some algebra, so I think we'll stop there for now. If you want to push on with this, have a look at one of my videos on rationalizing the denominator, and that is also to do with surds, a little bit more complicated though. Alright, that's it for me now. I've got a couple of questions for you to work on. Have a go with them, and I will put up the answers in a moment. Alright, so there we go, we've got those 3 questions. Pause the video, have a go at them, and see if you got them right. Okay, so assuming you've done that, we've got question number 1 and question number 2 coming out here. First one, very simple, just ending up with root 5, because we've got 10 divided by 2. This one here, pretty much the same thing, we end up with root 18, and you just got to be thinking square numbers. Okay, so that's root 9 times root 2. Root 9 is obviously 3, so you end up with 3 root 2 at that point. Okay, question 3 was a little bit more challenging, very similar to the last one I did on the board there. And at this point here, we've got to remember we're going to do 30 divided by 5. A lot of people forget about those numbers. So 30 divided by 5 gives us 6. And you do 192 divided by 6, which is 32. And we kind of end up with 32 there. We could stop, but we're thinking square numbers. So I know that I'm going to get 16 times 2. Square root of 16 gives me 4. And I just do 6 times 4 and leave root 2 there. Okay. Alright, so hopefully you did pretty well on those. If you want to have a look for some other videos on YouTube, please have a go. Otherwise, have a look at possibly maybe recapping my video on multiplying surds, or push yourself further and do some rationalizing the denominator. Okay, but that's it for me now. Thanks very much. Cheers.